All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that every single dollar you spend, on things like groceries, gas, even your morning coffee, could be turned into a live flat business class seat to Tokyo, or maybe a week at a five-star resort? Well, that's not some fantasy, it's a financial strategy. And today we're going to break down exactly how it works.
First things first, a quick question, just to set the stage. I want you to picture this. You're booking a trip, maybe to Paris or Rome. What do you think a comfy, round-trip business class ticket is going to cost you? Go on, get a number in your head.
So, did you guess somewhere around 8,000 bucks? Cuz yeah, that's often the reality for a cash ticket. But now look at the other side of this slide. That exact same seat can be booked for about 70,000 points and maybe $100 in taxes. This huge gap. This is the entire reason we're here. This isn't some glitch. It's a system, and you can learn to use it.
To really get how this is even possible, we have to totally reframe how we think about credit card rewards. This isn't about getting a little 1% cash back here and there. Nope. This is about understanding that points, they're their own form of currency. The fancy term for all this is strategic arbitrage. Now, I know it sounds super complicated, but the idea is actually simple. You're getting a currency, points, at a really low cost through things like sign-up bonuses and just spending smart. And then you're cashing in that currency for something with a much higher value, like that flight we just saw. This quote here really nails the mental shift you gotta make. You have to stop thinking of points as just a marketing gimmick or a tiny bonus. Start seeing them for what they really are, a legitimate, kind of decentralized currency that you can use to your advantage. I'm telling you, once you make that switch in your head, the whole game just opens up. Okay, but before we go any further, listen up. Here is the absolute 100% non-negotiable golden rule. This entire system falls apart if you carry a credit card balance. The interest rates on these cards are sky high and they will completely wipe out any value you create. So, pay your statement in full, every single time. No exceptions. And the second must-have is your credit score. If you want to get the premium cards that really fuel this strategy, you're generally going to need a score of 720 or higher. Think of it as the barrier to entry, so it's the very first thing you need to check off your list. So if you've got the financial discipline down and the credit score to back it up, you're ready to play. But you have to know the rules of the game. The banks have built this complex system to manage who gets the best rewards, and we need to understand it inside and out. Let's start with the single most important rule in this entire ecosystem. Seriously. It comes from Chase Bank, and it pretty much dictates the first 1 or 2 years of anyone's travel hacking journey. This is the infamous 524 rule. It's actually pretty simple. Chase will automatically deny you for most of their best cards if you've opened 5 or more personal credit cards from any bank, by the way, in the last 2 years. So the strategy becomes a no-brainer. You have to get the Chase cards you want first before you fill up those 5 precious slots. Okay, now let's talk about the other major player in the game, American Express. They don't have a strict rule like 524, but they've got their own unique set of policies, all designed to control who gets those big, juicy welcome bonuses. So Amex has a few key things to know, like their once-per-lifetime rule on bonuses for any given card. But their most helpful feature is what everyone calls pop-up jail. Here's the deal. If you apply for a card but you're not eligible for the bonus, a little pop-up window appears before they run a credit check. This lets you just cancel the application with 0 penalty. You can literally test if you'll get the bonus, completely risk-free. All right, so we know the rules for getting the cards. Now for the really fun part, the offensive strategy. This is where we learn how to squeeze multiple layers of rewards out of every single dollar you spend. The foundation of any smart earning strategy is the trifecta model. See, instead of using just one card for everything, you build a small team of cards, all within a single ecosystem, like Chase or Amex. You'll have one card for travel, another that earns big on dining and groceries, and a third as your catch-all for everything else. This simple setup makes sure you're almost never earning just one measly point per dollar. Now, let's take it to the next level with stacking. This is how you multiply your earnings on just one purchase. Imagine you're buying something online. Layer 1, you get points from your credit card's bonus category. Layer 2, you click through an online shopping portal to earn even more points. Layer 3, a browser extension finds a coupon to save you actual cash. And Layer 4, you earn points from the store's own loyalty program. See that? 4 layers of value from one single transaction. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, the partnership between the Rakuten shopping portal and American Express is an absolute game changer. If you time it right, you can earn a staggering 17 Amex points for every single dollar you spend. That's like a 17% return, which is just, well, it's incredible. So we've gotten the cards, we've earned the points. Now it's finally time for the payoff. Let's take a look at what these points can actually get you. I mean, look at these. These are some of the best business class seats in the entire world. Qatar's Q Suite, Annie's The Room. We're talking private suites with closing doors. And then look at the point costs. A one-way ticket in a suite that would cost you thousands of dollars can be booked for just 60 or 70,000 points when you know how to use airline partners. It's amazing. Now, for hotels, the strategy's a little different. The key insight here, the thing most experienced travel hackers will tell you, is that they prefer World of Hyatt. And the reason is super simple. Hyatt uses a predictable award chart. You know exactly what a room is going to cost in points. This is a massive advantage over programs like Marriott and Hilton, which use what's called dynamic pricing, meaning their point costs can swing wildly from one day to the next. So that's the theory, but how do you actually get started? I know this can all seem a little overwhelming, so we're going to wrap this all up with a really clear, actionable plan to turn this knowledge into your next trip. Okay, here's the long-term view. In your first year, you focus only on Chase to stay under that 524 rule. Simple. In year 2, you can branch out to other banks like Amex and Capital One. And then by year 3, you're in a nice rhythm, managing your cards, looking for new opportunities. It's a sustainable, long-term hobby, not a sprint. But what about right now, today? Here is your quick win. 3 things you can do the second this is over. First, check your credit score. Second, figure out your 524 status. Just count how many personal credit cards you've opened in the last 2 years. And third, go play around with a free awards search tool called Pointia, just to see what's out there. And that brings us to tools. Look, the tech in the space has exploded, but you can ignore most of it for now. This slide shows you the best of the best. I'd recommend just starting with Pointia. It has a really powerful free version that is perfect for beginners. Honestly, that's all you need to get started. We've covered the why, the how, and what to do next. We've seen how points act like their own currency, how to navigate the bank rules, and the absolutely incredible value you can unlock. So really, the only question left is the one right here on the screen. Now that you know the rules of the game, where will your points take you first?